There's a type of person who's slowly destroying their own future without even realizing it. They talk too much, argue endlessly, and carry an unshakable confidence. Yet their life never seems to move forward. Why? Because they never stop learning from their own mistakes. But here's the disturbing part. You might be becoming that person and not even know it. In a rare and powerful speech, Keanu Reeves revealed 7 silent signs that someone is trapped in a loop of self-sabotage. These aren't just bad habits. They're warning lights. Ignored for too long, they'll wreck your relationships, your career, and your peace of mind. Most people live in denial, blaming luck, feelings, or others. But Keanu doesn't sugarcoat the truth, and neither does this video. By the time you reach the final sign, one of 2 things will happen. You'll be angry or awakened. Watch until the end, because missing even one of these signs could cost you years of your life. Sign number 1. They use their mouth more than their ears. Have you ever met someone who always insists they're right, no matter how clearly wrong they are? Even when their opinion sounds ridiculous, they argue endlessly, clinging to their words like chewing gum, pouring emotions into every sentence, twisting logic in every direction, just to avoid admitting one simple thing, that they were wrong. These are the people who never really listen. They're simply waiting for others to stop talking so they can jump in. They have no intention of listening to understand, only to refute. And oddly enough, when they're faced with someone smarter or more knowledgeable, they immediately go on the defensive, flaring up as if their ego's been bruised. Why? Deep down, they know they're losing. They know they're outmatched, but their pride won't let them admit it. The ancient Romans had a word for this kind of pride: arrogance, a silent poison that destroys relationships and strangles personal growth. A wise person chooses truth, even when it wounds their pride. But a foolish one fights truth with words, every sentence becoming a shovel that digs deeper into the hole of their stubbornness. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly listened to someone? Not just nodding along, not preparing a counter-argument in your head, but genuinely silent, open, and willing to admit that you don't know everything. Maybe you still have something to learn, that the truth doesn't always have to come from your own lips. We live in a noisy world, surrounded by people terrified of being wrong, afraid of being called out for what they don't know. But if you want to become truly strong, truly wise, start with the simplest step. Learn when to be silent and listen with your whole heart. Sign number 2. They believe other people's success is just luck. You probably lived long enough to recognize these types of people around you. The moment they see someone succeed, they blurt out, "He just got lucky." When someone is wealthy or happy, they immediately cast doubt. "He must have come from a rich family." They look at someone with a fit, toned body and scoff. It's just good genetics. But when you turn around and ask, "So, what are you doing to change your life?" they fall silent. No workouts, no learning, no effort. Yet they prefer to live in a world where luck decides everything. Why? Because if they can convince themselves that everything is just chance, they don't have to face the discomfort of looking inward. They can stay lazy, keep blaming others, keep lying on the couch without feeling guilty. But here's the truth. What they really fear is discipline. They're afraid of waking up early, afraid of trying and failing, afraid to look in the mirror and realize how much precious time they've wasted. A wise person knows that luck isn't some miracle falling from the sky. Luck is the reward for consistency. It's the outcome of all the hard work done behind closed doors, the early mornings no one noticed, the silent comebacks after painful setbacks that no one ever saw. And then one day, when success finally shows up, people call it luck. But you know better, it's discipline built up over time. It's the small choices made every day that lead to big results. So if you're sitting there, waiting for a lottery ticket to fall into your lap. It's time to wake up. The world owes you nothing. Your life will only change when you change. And it's not luck, but discipline that builds the bridge to the life you dream of. Get up, start today, and create your own luck with small, consistent actions every single day. Sign number 3, they constantly dive into pointless arguments. Some people spend their entire lives diving headfirst into meaningless debates. They argue fiercely with strangers online about topics that have zero impact on their actual lives. They strain their voices or their keyboards, fighting over words and logic just to satisfy their ego, just to prove, I'm right, you're wrong. But for what? Does it make their life any better? Does it add a single dollar to their bank account or bring even a moment of peace to their mind? Not at all. All it brings is more exhaustion, more frustration, and hours they'll never get back. Meanwhile, a wise person acts differently. They value their energy and time. They don't waste it on petty disputes or meaningless back and forths. They don't argue just to feed their ego. Instead, they carefully choose their battles, ones that lead to real outcomes, real growth, real success. Marcus Aurelius once said something that should shake us. You could be living a good life today. Instead, you choose tomorrow. Think about it. How many times have you postponed what really matters just to chase some worthless argument? How often have you chosen to fight just to feel right, instead of using that time to become better? Life isn't a stage where you prove who's right or wrong. It's a journey where you're meant to become the best version of yourself. So if you find yourself tired from the weight of trivial things, pause. Ask yourself a simple question. Does this fight move me forward? If the answer is no, walk away. Save that energy for what truly matters. Because time is the one thing you can never buy back. Sign number 4. They believe their emotions matter more than anything else. One of the most damaging mistakes people make in life is believing that their emotions are more important than reality. Shallow individuals move through life as if the entire world should bend to their mood. When they're angry, they lash out, scream, break things, hurt others, all because of a fleeting temper. When they're sad, they give up, complain, and look for excuses to quit. When their pride gets bruised, they instantly blame others and hide behind arrogance to cover up their inner weakness. They let their emotions take the wheel, letting every wave of feeling drag them around without direction. But life doesn't revolve around anyone's emotions. Life is cold, fair, and indifferent to whether you're sad today or hurt yesterday. Emotions are real, but they're not the truth. A truly wise person understands that emotions are like waves. They come, they go, they rise, they fade. You don't need to fight them, but you also shouldn't drown in them. Learn to ride them like a skilled surfer. Acknowledge them, name them, feel them, but keep doing what's right in spite of them. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That's the difference between someone ruled by emotions and someone who masters them. A foolish person is a slave to their feelings. They act on impulse, then live with regret. But the wise are calm, composed, and choose their responses not based on short-term emotions, but long-term wisdom. So if today you're feeling angry, sad, or disappointed, feel it, but don't let it command you. You weren't born to be ruled by emotion. You were born to master yourself. Sign number 5. They never learn from their own mistakes. Have you ever met someone who keeps making the same mistakes over and over again? They fall into toxic relationships, waste money on meaningless things, and keep trusting the wrong people. And every time, they sigh and say the same line. I guess I just have bad luck. But it's not bad luck. It's a bad pattern. The problem isn't fate, it's their thinking. It's their refusal to grow from past wounds. Foolish people never pause to reflect. They don't ask, where did I go wrong? or what could I have done differently? They don't analyze, don't change strategy, and they jump back into the same fire, surprised to get burned. They live in a loop, mistake, blame, repeat. Meanwhile, wise people are different. They're not afraid to fail, but they refuse to fail the same way twice. Every failure is a chance to reflect, to examine choices, and to learn something real. They observe their habits, reactions, and who they trust, then adjust. They don't aim for perfection, just progress. Everyone stumbles, but not everyone grows. So ask yourself, what patterns are you repeating? What lessons are you ignoring? What wounds are you hiding instead of healing? Growth begins the moment you face your mistakes. Take responsibility and commit to change. Will you walk into the same fire again, or build yourself a new path? The choice is yours. Sign number 6. They're always surrounded by people just like them. There's a simple but brutal truth. Show me who you spend time with, and I'll show you what your future looks like. Foolish people always surround themselves with complainers, gossipers, slackers, people who always have an excuse to delay everything. They don't dream big, they don't strive for more, and like crabs in a bucket, they pull each other down the moment someone tries to climb out. Why do they stay in that environment? Because it's comfortable. In that space, no one makes them feel inadequate. No one pushes them. No one expects growth. They can stay stuck forever and still feel fine because everyone around them is just like them. But wise people are the opposite. They're not afraid to be the least impressive person in the room. In fact, they seek out those who are far ahead, people who challenge them, who inspire them to work harder, live with more discipline, and never settle. They understand that if they're the smartest one in the group, they're in the wrong group. It's that very discomfort, that feeling of being stretched, that fuels their growth. Success isn't just about talent. It's about the environment. It's built through deep conversations, higher standards, and the presence of people who demand more from themselves and from you. So today, look around. The people you call friends, are they lifting you up or pulling you down? Are they pushing you forward or lulling you into stagnation? If you want to change your life, start by changing the people you walk with. Because sometimes the only thing holding you back isn't you. It's who you choose to keep around. Sign number 7. They hate the truth, especially when it doesn't flatter them. You can spot this type of person the moment you give them honest feedback. Their eyes shift, their face darkens, their words sharpen, and up goes a wall of defense. They don't listen to understand, only to strike back. They despise the truth, especially when it forces them to confront their own flaws. Tell them they didn't do well. You're jealous. Point out a mistake. You're too negative. To them, truth only matters if it's pleasant, if it boosts their ego or confirms their sense of superiority. But life doesn't care how you feel. It runs on truth, whether it's comfortable or not. And that resistance to truth is exactly what holds them back. A foolish person would rather be comforted than enlightened. They chase compliments, not corrections. They build a cage out of sweet words, lock themselves inside, and then wonder why life feels stuck. Meanwhile, the wise do the opposite. They value those who tell them the hard truths. They don't hide from criticism. They embrace it, break it down, and use it as a mirror to reflect and grow. Because they know, without truth, there's no growth. Without reflection, there's no transformation. So ask yourself, when was the last time you really listened to criticism with a heart ready to learn, not to defend? If you keep choosing comfort over truth, don't be shocked when nothing changes. Because the truth, no matter how bitter, is the only teacher that never lies to you. Now that you've seen the truth behind these 7 signs, the real question is, what will you do about it? Remember, self-awareness is the first step to transformation. Let Keanu Reeves' rare words be more than just a speech. Let them be your motivation to grow, to listen deeper, and to rebuild every broken relationship in your life. The world doesn't reward the loudest voice, it rewards those who are willing to change. If even one sign hit close to home, don't ignore it. Take action, because the cost of doing nothing is living the same life a year from now.